video just going into the colour coding that Copic put on their markers. Now, I've just recently invested in some Copic markers for the first time. I've always used Pro markers, and when looking into Copic markers, one of the top reasons for investing in them was this colour coding system, because Pro markers just simply don't have that, and it is just a royal pain in your derriere trying to find a combination of colours, because all they have is the colour on the cap and the name of the colour, and they really don't tally with what's inside a lot of the time. So it takes quite a lot of playing around and marking on paper to work out what goes with what. So I thought that I spent some time investigating myself, trying to understand exactly how this coding works and kind of put it in my own words, in my own head as it were, to try and understand it, that I thought it might be useful to some of you out there if I kind of explained it how I see it in my words to you guys, and see if that's sort of of some use to you. So I apologise if those of you who already understand this or know what this all means, but the rest of you, I hope you enjoy and find this video useful. So the first thing, I just got a Copic here. I've got the sketch markers because I particularly wanted the nibs that we've got here on the sketch markers, but they have, the way Copic do it is they have either one letter or two letters and then two numbers. In order to go into the actual way that the coding works a little more, how I try and get it in my head, we're actually going to pop over to my computer. So I'm going to take you over to there now, and we're going to have a little look, and hopefully it'll all make sense. So we're at the computer now, and I've opened up my Photoshop program, and I flood filled a box with a pinky colour that is of the same tone of the pen that we were looking at, just so that we could kind of keep in theme with what we were looking at. Now the first, and I've also opened up this box that's really how I understand how the Copic coding system works. So the first one is the hue or colour, and basically this is the first two letters or one letter depending on the code on the pen, but it's the letter part of the coding on the pen, and the letter represents the general colour group. So for example, at the moment this would be RV for red violet. It's not indicating at that point whether it's dark, pale, really saturated, really vibrant, or whatever. It's just a general colour group. So if we were to move that to a different letter, we would have, say, V for violet, B for blue, that one might be BG, blue-green, and then G for green, etc. So we've got a nice selection of colours there, and that is just your general colour group. So I'm putting it back to what I would just pretend, for the sake of this demonstration, would be the RV, like our pen. So the next button on here is our saturation, and that is the first number on the code of the pen. And saturation is about how vibrant the colour is. So in the case of the pens, the lower the number, so if it's 0, it will be at its most vibrant. The higher the number, say 9, then it's going to be very, very pale tone. It's going to have very little of the colour in it. It's not about lightness and darkness, it's about the actual saturation of the colour. So for example, here, look, if we take our slider and we change it, so we've gone from 0, say, to 5, you can see the colour tone is just gradually disappearing, and then we might go right up. Probably wouldn't go that far in the Copics, but there would be sort of maybe 9 or so. And you can see it's the same lightness and darkness, but it is less colour in the pen. So that's where that is. So at the moment we've got our pen is at RV 0. Now the lightness, and please don't worry where the sliders are, because for the purposes of indicating it's not absolutely accurate where they are, but the lightness is the last number on the coding, the Copics, and basically that indicates how light or dark the colour is. So the higher the number, the darker the shade. So at the moment, as I said, we would be, say, at number 9 at this setting. And if we were to take this down just towards 0, you're going to see it's gradually going to get lighter. So this might be 5, and then we might take this to sort of, that might be 0. So you can see that it's much paler, but it's still got the same amount of saturation of colour in. For example, so if we were to put this to, say it was 55, so say that was at the moment RV05, if we change that to RV55, you can see it's now paler and less saturation. So it really depends on where those sit as to exactly how it works. So basically, the numbers are your hue, i.e. your colour, how vibrant it is. As I said, the lower the number, the stronger, more vibrant the colour. And then the last number is whether it's light or dark, so that there's a pale colour or a darker colour. So if we were to take this to a different colour, let's take it to our violet, and then we would say, well, this is at its most vibrant. So let's now take the vibrancy down a little bit. So it's less vibrant, it's a more grey violet, and then we could take the lightness, so it was a paler colour, and all of a sudden you've got a completely different colour. So this might be RV 65, oh sorry, it would be V65. And that's how I remember it. Please, as I say, ignore where the sliders go. It's just the way that the sliders work that I have to go different directions for lightness, etc. But as I say, it just, the way I remember it is literally this hue, saturation, lightness, hue, saturation, lightness, or if you prefer, colour, saturation, lightness. And that's how I remember the combination. And the only thing I would say that I do find a little bit confusing, and I think it seems strange, is that with the vibrancy, 0 is the strongest colour, but with the lightness, the second number, the palest colour is the lightest colour. The palest colour is the lowest number. So to me, that's slightly back to front. I think it would have made more sense to my brain if the most vibrant colour, which was 0, was also the darkest shade, and that should have been 0, but it's the opposite way around, so they kind of go the opposite direction. But that's how it works. So it's just kind of remember that 0 for saturation is the most vibrant, and 0 for lightness is the palest. And so if you wanted most saturation and the darkest colour, you would be looking for 0, 9. I hope that's helped a bit. I hope it isn't actually ended up confusing you even more. But as I say, this is how I kind of remember how it works. So I hope that it's helped a bit and explained it at least a little bit clearer. But I'm not, hopefully I haven't just confused you completely. Alright, I'd love to hear your comments, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.